Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I'm in Timișoara, the 5th largest city in Romania. And what we're going to do in today's video, we're going to go and look for a few steam locos which are dotted around the city. Now in Central and Eastern Europe it is quite common to find one or two plimp steam locos, perhaps one at the railway station. You might get the odd one in a park, but here in Timișoara there's a few more than just a couple and they're dotted around. So what I thought we'll do, it merits making a video, because normally I just take a picture of them and they might end up in another video, but I thought we'll just go for a little tour around the city and we'll go and find them. That, by the way, that is the main Orthodox cathedral in the city, and then if I turn the camera around, we are right in the city centre. You've got this rather nice gardens down here, and then you've got buildings on each side. Some have been renovated, but there's some really quite attractive buildings, so it's a really very pleasant city. I'm going to head on that way, past the cathedral, over the other side of the river, and let's go and find our first steam locomotive. I've walked a short distance from the city centre, come across the river. To give you a reference point for where I was, you can just see the tower of the cathedral in the distance over there, and I'm bringing you to this building here. This is, I understand, to be the Polytechnic University. Check, this is a cycle way the screen past makes on the cycle's coming. So the reason I'm bringing you here, as you probably gathered, is because there is a steam loco, and I don't even have to look hard for it. There it is on the other side of the fence. Now I expect it'll be alright, we'll just wander and have a look. There's a propeller as well. I suppose, you know, what you'd maybe expect to study at Polytechnic universities. Sometimes when you find out there's a plinth loco in the university, you know, it can be, they're quite vast sites, so it can take a while to look for them, but this is a bit too easy almost. You also get it with parks as well. Sometimes you find out there's a steam loco in a park and you can spend, you know, an hour or so looking if it's a vast park. So I've now just wandered into the Polytechnic University. I don't think they really mind me just coming in here. So here, let's go and have a look at this, our first steam loco. So, narrow gauge loco, 760mm gauge, built by Rodzice. Rodzice is a city or town which I intend to visit on this visit, because it's just reopened its tramway, and there's quite a few more of them there because that's where they were built. Her works number is 1409, built in 1953. You can just see up there's a works plate, so we'll have a look at that. Now these locos, I'm not sure exactly how many they built, but they built a lot of them, and you can find them now beyond Romania. In fact, we even had one in Britain at one point at the Welshbourne Landfair Railway. If you go to most narrow gauge railways in Romania and Hungary, chances are you'll see one of these. Not all of them, but most of them. And like I say, they have appeared at various other narrow gauge railways around Europe. So I think they're great little locos. Chunky, OAO, so they have 8 driving wheels. Let's have a closer look. So yeah, when you go to Romania, you quite often will find this. Can't actually see a number on her works plate, but it does say 1955 she was built. The CFR, now I think that's the main Romanian railways. Not so sure what that means, so we'll just have a walk around her, and then we're going to go and look for some more steam locos. So yeah, I think it's nice. You don't often get this. I'm not saying they don't exist in Britain, plinth locos. Most of ours tend to be in museums or running, but it does make visits to these Eastern European countries interesting, and yeah, just something to do, to go and look for these plinth locos. I would rather see it running, but if it was a choice between seeing her running or seeing her scrapped, I'd rather see her plinth here. So that's our first loco. Let's go and find another steam loco. As I walk between locations, we're just walking through, we've got these 2 parks each side of the river. Over there is the cathedral, near where we started. So regarding city's transport, there's trams and trolley buses. I'm doing all the tram lines, and there will be videos on them where I just film the route and put captions in. But it is such a pleasant city, and they also do a water bus service, but I don't think it probably runs in the winter. This is February at the time of filming this video, so I don't think I'll be able to do that on this visit, but I may well come back in the summer, because I haven't quite done all the tram network actually, because there was one section that was closed for track relaying, so that will be done. And there's some of the routes I wanted to do before they relayed, and potentially while they've still got the older trams. And just saw a trolley bus going over the bridge, and there's a tram in the distance. This video isn't really meant to be about trams, but there's one of the modern Turkish trams. But there's these charming over 60-year-old trams from Munich, second hand. They're really good fun to ride. So it's a great city if you like urban transport, but I really would like to come back in the summer and have a ride on a boat or on their water bus. Oh look, and again, slight tangent from the video, I've just spotted this little Japanese garden. So I'm going to just have a quick look in here. Let's just have a quick look, then we're going to, I promise we'll go and find some more steam locos. Look at this, this is, yeah, I really like, it's only a small garden, but I just like little places like this. I'm going to follow along the river over there. Let's go and find our next steam loco. There's one of the city's trolley buses. I've just been walking through those parks there, so I'm on the other side of the river now. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a look. Here is our next steam loco. I'll come on behind it and we'll walk around it. Along there is the main railway from, well, eventually goes to Bucharest one way and Budapest the other. This one's not in quite such good condition as our last one. So also built in 1953. I believe her works number's 1410. One of them's 1410, one of them's 1409, so they are literally, there's some work going on the railways up over there. So they are like, you know, they've been built off the production line after each other. This one's not fared quite so well. Seems to have been painted in a rather odd livery and got a bit of graffiti on it, which is a shame. I suppose the other one being in the university, it's probably locked up at night, so generally is looked after. But, you know, it's better than it being scrapped, even if it is in this rather odd livery. So this is our second steam loco. Like I say, it's nice to see them. It'd be nice to sit in a better livery, but I suppose it's just going to get attacked again. You know, at least it's there. What, you can't really damage them casually so much. They're big, strong machines. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to follow the railway line down that way, past the railway station, and that's where our next steam locos should be found. So that's the main railway station, Gare du Nord over there, which is having some refurbishment work done. It's a typical, you know, communist era station building. Prior to that, there was actually a Ferenc Páff he designed the railway station in various places around the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So there's a lot of his work in Romania, such as at Cluj-Napoca. You can still see one of his buildings. And at Page in Hungary and Kopersvár in Hungary, Zagreb, what is now Croatia, have all got buildings by Ferenc Páff. Anyway, the tram line terminates here. That is a tram, one of the Turkish trams on the loop. So this is where routes 1, 8 and 9 terminate. Yesterday I did manage to ride the loop. I found, where are they? He's ringing the bell. Well, I think he wants to go out. There's a lorry literally reversing across the tracks. I don't know if he'll be able to. So far, all but one of the drivers have allowed me to ride the loop. I don't think you're supposed to be able to ride the loops, but it seems they do generally turn a blind eye, which is good if you're a track basher. But I don't think this loop will, it might stay, but the plan is to extend the tram line along in the direction we're going and join up with the newly reopened Route 5, which I did the other day. So all the tram lines will all be on separate videos. Like I say, you'll be able to see where they go. Now the lorry's moved, the Turkish tram can move. I'm going to continue on beside the railway lines, and that's where we're going to find a couple more steam locomotives. There I am, just past the railway station, and here's our next steam locomotive. Now this one's a bit of a mystery. To me it looks very much like a Kriegslok, the German war locomotive, which they built all over, well they ended up all over Europe, should I say. Now this one, a number 150 1091, but her tender carries a different number, so I'm a bit unsure, and I can't actually find any information as to what her true identity is, so that's a bit of a mystery. So if anyone watching knows any more, then you know, please do comment and tell me. But I've done a bit of research, I can't find anything on her. And I noticed also one of her connection rods appears to have come down, so it doesn't look like she'll be going anywhere, but she's, no, it looks really nice. It really looks the part. What I'll do, I'm going to go up onto this bridge after the video, but I'm going to insert it now. There was a couple of pictures just from the other end. I wanted to do this in one go, but I wanted to also let you see the front of it. This bridge is pretty cool because look, it goes up over here. That takes you over the road, so it's a handy crossing place. But not only is it good for seeing the steam locos, which we're looking for, it's also very good for looking at railways and the trains, which we'll see in a moment. So as we get up here, you also got the trolley bus lines. Some of them, there's a circle up there. I haven't been up there, but they terminate up there, and then there's a non-revenue earning route going down there. When I was filming, a security car just pulled up, and I thought they were going to say something, but they were quite happy for me to be standing here. You know, they really don't mind, which is just, it's what I really like about Eastern Europe. No one really bothers you. When you want to make videos like this in the UK, sometimes you get people asking, they'll interrupt you mid-take and ask you what you're doing here. You know, you can just get on with things. So there we are, there's that steam loco, the Creeks lock. When they're everywhere. I even remember them in frontline service in Bosnia 10 years ago. I went to Bosnia. I think there's still some going now, but not quite as it was. I'm really glad I went there, so I am genuinely one of the youngest people that can remember steam. But moving on to diesels and electrics, there's quite an interesting lineup of diesel locos there. There's a Ludmilla, you know, Soviet era diesel, and then you've got some other diesels here. We'll have a look as we go over. But as we walk along here, it really looks the part, that steam loco. So that's the railway station down there. So you've got these terminal platforms. I just walked along off the end of the platform and round. It seems to be a sort of logical route. There's a more modern DMU just coming in now. You do find those zero diesel units around all of Europe, really, from sort of Germany across to Romania, Bulgaria and beyond, so they're quite interesting to see. But I'm far more interested, we are going to find some more steam locos, I promise you, in this lineup we've got down here. Look what a brilliant lineup, especially that green one. It really looks like it's just come out the works, so yeah, that's quite fantastic. There goes that unit. One thing with those units, which I've discovered from Hungary, talking to people who use them a lot in Hungary, on some lines they've replaced loco haul trains, and what often happens with those, once the toilet tank is full, then the toilet locks out of use, and they do some quite long distance journeys. But with a loco haul train, it just goes straight out onto the track. Some Hungarians have told me that it's the worst thing when they get their train, it's a 4-hour journey, it's one of them, because they know there's a possibility that they might not be able to use the toilet. And one of them told me that the guard had actually sort of noticed quite a few people needed to use it, so they stopped. They did an extended stop at the station to let passengers use the station toilets. I don't know if that would happen here. Anyway, we've got some great sound of diesel locos. I might be wrong, but I think some of these might have Sulzer locos in, which are familiar to British railway enthusiasts. I mean, look at this. I don't know if they're going to go. All of those, 4 locos on one train. I'm not sure there's a bloke just getting out the cab of one of them. It's fascinating place if you like railways. And then over there, well, we've got 2 roundhouses. There's a little diesel junta down there. Also, it's just fantastic. You've got this bridge, you know, right across the station throw and across the yard. And it's not for enthusiasts, it's just a genuine public right of way, but it's probably well used by enthusiasts. Some old burnt out carriages over there. I think on this side, the work we can see, that's for further up, where they're extending the tram route, which I said about to connect on Route 5. They're going to burrow under the railway, so that's probably work for that. But there goes that little loco, 950001, I think her number is. So this is like just not seen in Britain. That's why I often visit these countries. There's a water tower there. I'm going to be going to Rzyce to see some more steam locos, which will be another video, and I'll be catching the train from here tomorrow. I'm hoping it'll be a loco haul train. My plan is to try and go one way, come back another, so I might not come back on a loco haul train, but I'm hoping to get a loco haul train to Karen-Sebeș and then get a train from there to Rzyce, and then eventually I'll get a train from Rzyce back to here. And as for getting here, well, there was a flight from Luton to Timișoara. It was about an hour till there was a bus, so I had to get a taxi, which cost in our money about a tenner. There goes that loco. But there's no sensible time flight back to Luton, or there is, but it's not sensible time, there's a flight, it's about 4 in the morning, so that's why I've opted to get the train to Budapest and fly back from there, and generally it's just more fun to go by train. I probably will do this again, I'll probably fly to Timișoara, maybe when the tram extensions are complete, I could do them, and then I'll get a train to Arad, which is not too far from here, but another Romanian city, which looks to have a very interesting tram network. You may have noticed in the background there's a steam loco. Again, well, this one's standard gauge. I believe it's another Rzyce loco. I think built in 1941, and I'm fairly sure from my research her works number is 596. So she seems to be down the store. There's also quite an interesting old crane over there. So stored in the depot, there's various other rail cars. I just like how they've got these two roundhouses like this. I mean, they exist. Do they exist in Britain? I can think of some, but not in everyday use for, because we just don't have this number of locos in Britain anymore. So there's a steam loco over there, and then on this side got various electric locos. I expect actually that little shunter's job is to shunt the electric locos in and out the sheds because they can't get in and out themselves. I'd love to go in and see what else is in there. I mean, it'd be fantastic to have a look around. So some of these places, if you ask nicely, they'll let you in, but I'm certainly not going to do that on camera. But it's not as hard as it looks. There's even like old steam age water cranes down there. So it's just, yeah, fantastic to see all this infrastructure still in place. Right, we have got one more steam loco to find, and this one is even more of a mystery than some of the others we've seen. Yeah, there's another rail car. I don't know if that is a rail car and passenger service or it's some sort of inspection thing. Perhaps if you're watching and you know, then tell me. So we're literally now between the two roundhouses. Turntable there, turntable there. That little shunter smoking away, being followed by another zero unit. I wish we had a footpath like this. Yeah, it's right over the depot. That's what I think is so funny. It's just right over the main, the best point of the depot they could possibly find. They'd put a footpath through because there's a large residential area down there. I don't actually find Timișoara to be a typical Romanian city. It's just a little bit different, but in a good way. Anyway, we're going to finish with one more steam loco, and possibly the most surprising, and I really don't know anything about it. See down there? It's like a miniature loco. Appears it should have a tender, but doesn't. Now, I want to know, was it once steamable, or is it one that they've just sort of somebody's made? It looks the part. I don't know what gauge as well. Do you know the gauge? If you know the gauge, please comment and tell me. It looks the part, but did it ever steam, or is it purely a static exhibit? I would be very interested to know. If you do know, please do comment and tell me. And if you know anything about the Kriegslock, which one it is. 'Cause I've looked for all the Romanian registered Kriegslock and I can't find one that appears to match her identity. So there we are. They're the 5 steam locos. Oh, and one other thing. What I'm going to do. Last night I went to the brewery to have dinner, and in the brewery there was a plinth electric loco, because they were electric hauled freights on the Timișoara tram system. So I'm just going to insert a picture of that now. I understand there's 3 of them, and the others are possibly around, possibly going to be restored. So we may one day be able to see them, or if you know they're on display anywhere in the city, or anything else that you think I'd be interested in, like plinth steam locos around the city or some of the other nearby cities, do let me know. I'd love to go and see them. But there's not many cities, I don't think, where you can find 5 different locos all in odd places that are just plinths. It just makes quite an interesting morning. That shunter's going onto the turntable. I think this is where I'm going to leave the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Mulțumesc for watching. That's thank you in Romanian. And please do feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe.